Welcome to Nostalgic Chats Podcast, where we take you to the past and present time with the OG crew.
Danny,
Harry,
Carmelo,
Chad,
Wilson.
This week's episode is about our favorite boy bands and overall general music within the era for us growing up. And to start this episode off, I'm going to go to my guy, Harry. Harry, what would you say are your favorite boy bands from that era?
Well, the most obvious ones it was the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. They had top hits all the time around 98 through like 2001. They were always like, especially on MTV, they had the show TRL, like where you would vote for the videos every day, the top 10 with Carson Daly. And, it was either Backstreet or NSYNC number one.
Fact.
Britney Spears sometimes would borrow it, but then Backstreet or NSYNC would win it again. It was just, that's all you saw mainly there. With a little sprinkled Christina 98 Degrees and stuff like that. But I would say Backstreet Boys was the best to me, even though NSYNC was right there, right behind them, in my opinion. And you, Wilson?
Mainly Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Ocean's 12, or whatever the fuck they were called. I don't remember their name. We're talking about boy bands, right?
O-Town?
Is that what that was?
Yeah,
That's
O-Town?
the movie,
O-Town.
It was
O-Town?
O-Town. Yeah.
Man, George
Yeah,
Clooney.
Ocean 12 is a movie.
Worm.
Ocean's 12,
Wilson is like
Brad
George
Pitt,
Clooney?
14.
Wilson's like George Clooney?
Right. No. What else is there? I really don't know any other boy bands. Not any that would come into mind, but those were like my top two: Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, for sure.
But you also have this is pop music, right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
people-
pop music. Awesome.
Yeah,
Christina
yeah.
Aguilera,
Limp
Britney
Bizkit. There you go.
Spears. Got Ariana Grande. That was that girl that turned into a maniac.
Britney
Miley
Spears.
Cyrus?
Which one?
The one,
Yeah.
which one? The one swinging on
eventually
the
they all
ball.
become maniacs.
Miley Cyrus.
Miley
Yeah,
Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus. Who else is there? Well, she sings like differently. I don't know. Yeah, that's all I got right now. Sorry. So, Chad?
All right, I'll go because I feel like this needs like a little bit. This needs
Yeah, it
a
does.
little
A
extra
spice in there.
attention. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
let
this,
them know
right?
that they missing B2K up in this piece, bro.
listen, I'm gonna say I agree with Harry and Wilson. I do think the Backstreet Boys were probably the best boy band. I think NSYNC was close, but I
But
think
the name though, I don't
Yes.
agree with that band name, bro.
See, okay. But the reason why is because I feel like the Backstreet Boys had the most complete unit. Like I felt like every person in their band played a great role. I felt like my guy Brian had the overall talent. Nick was like that one, that up and coming guy. AJ was
Kevin's
the wild
mine.
card. I figured you would like Kevin.
That's right. That's my man.
I think
No, AJ,
Kevin-
no, Kevin's the glue guy.
Yes, yes, and I think Howie had his part. When they let him sing and do his part, they were phenomenal. I think when it came to NSYNC, it was primarily Justin, and he let us know that in that No Strings Attached video when he pushed them at the end, that it was just Justin. But I think the Backstreet Boys, they worked because they all fed like each other's. They all knew their strengths and they like balanced out perfectly in terms of like overall group. So I'm gonna say that, like, add that in there. Why I think they were probably the best. But overall, like Harry was saying, like I think music at that time was amazing. You had LFO. Wilson said O-Town. It
Yes.
was
98 Degrees.
98 Degrees.
And
like,
the
you
green,
had
bro.
so many groups that were like amazing. It was just a great time in music. And like Harry said, TRL played a huge part in that.
They introduced a lot of music to everybody.
Yeah. And like I said, we came from the Bronx. Like, I mean, listen,
To
I
listen
wasn't-
to that?
yeah, I wasn't really looking for that type of music to listen to, but like it definitely played a part in, like, because I still go back and listen to that type of music till this day.
Yeah,
as a-
most
as
of
a
the time
grown man.
we were, most of the time we were on Hot 97.
Exactly. And that joint
Before
was
that,
exactly, and that joint played such a huge part, like in terms of like my childhood and like my adolescent years. Like it was amazing music. So go ahead, Danny. What would you say were like some of your best ones?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think Backstreet Boys completely with all their albums, they really don't have a bad album.
Facts.
Even with when they came out with the latest one, if you go back and you listen to it, they kind of brought it back to the old school way of how Millennium was and how they used to make the songs. It's not like how the now generation makes them.
Yeah.
Of course, NSYNC had Justin and JC singing. Then you got 90 Degrees with Nick Lachey.
And
Sway
then
Boyz II Men.
Sway in that band too?
No, Sway.
Nah.
Nick
Boyz II
Lachey.
Men was good also. There are other ones that had a lot of good songs.
Boyz II Men, yeah.
Yeah.
But do you consider them like, I don't know, are they a boy
They
band?
say
I
they're
don't
not
know.
boy bands, but my dude, you
That's
were
a fact.
boys when you came out. You were young and you're like 4
And
or
y'all
5.
all
of y'all.
singing together.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
like
they
New Kids on the
sang-
Block,
Yeah.
which was before.
They just sang
They were
R&B.
they were
but they
popular
were
at the
boy
time,
band. Yeah, they were just did
Yeah.
like popular
And,
music.
and I think what pushed them over the edge for that to become mainstream was with the Mariah Carey song. That kind of threw them up there with like the
And opened up the audience, I think.
Yeah. What was
Yeah.
that? One Sweet Day, right?
Yes.
Fire.
Yes.
That song was great.
We also have Linkin Park was around that time coming out.
Yeah.
We have Limp Bizkit.
Wait.
Yes,
I thought this was
Limp Bizkit.
pop music,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, pop
That
music.
was
yeah.
pop music.
There's
That
pop
was
music,
music.
That's
yeah.
not, it's just
And
popular,
that's
but
definitely
that's
not
more
pop.
like new metal.
Yeah, it's new
rock
metal.
rap type.
Yeah.
It's
If you're in the
popular.
top 10 of TRL, it's popular.
Yeah, when you start when they start coming out like in WWE, like singing like people's theme songs, is popular music by then. Like, because everybody's listening to it.
Because
And
I
Limp
consider Limp
Bizkit,
Bizkit like corn and
yeah,
stuff like
I
that.
do
Kid
too.
Rock.
Yeah, Kid
Yeah,
Rock.
Kid Rock.
Yeah. American Badass.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. like Creed and all that stuff. Nickelback, like
9 Inch
I don't know.
Nails.
Nine Inch Nails.
I mean,
what's
the
it, Smashing
genre.
Pumpkins.
Yeah.
This
The
whole time
genre
I
that-
thought pop was his own thing. It just meant popular. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's
That's
they,
now?
they,
Yeah. They just be popular.
the genre. The genre might not be pop, but they have songs that are like
Pop.
that kind of goes
They
away.
got so
that is pop,
popular
like, yeah.
that it was like they played it a lot. That it was considered. I think that.
It's not, it's not their best song. It's just like something for everybody to listen to, like radio music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If
Yeah.
I would have known, I definitely would have thrown Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, Korn, Metallica, all those
Yeah.
people up there
So I feel
before I got
that
in there.
around those times there was like a big boom, right? Because you had DMX,
Huge.
DMX, you had Nelly,
Eminem.
you had
Eminem.
who else? Eminem, of course. Yep,
Yeah.
Eminem.
Oh,
You had
Nelly,
a
you're
lot,
right,
and there
Nelly.
was a lot of competition. You know what I mean?
They had Ja Rule. Ja Rule.
yeah, yeah.
Nah, get that
They had
bum ass
yo.
dude out
I'm
of here.
surprised
Yeah,
you
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
mention. I'm surprised you didn't mention J Lo.
J-Lo.
You used to be-
on the 6.
You used to have
She's
the
a
Why
shirt
shirt
not
on
throw
the
Ricky
six.
Martin in there? I got his
Ricky
shirt on
Martin,
too.
yo.
Yeah.
La
Enrique
Vida Loca.
Iglesias. Yeah, man.
Yep.
Oh,
My man
shit.
Ricky Iglesias. Yeah.
He was in the bathroom. That was my guy.
He said,
That Escape song.
Yeah, I
Those
think
kids.
in that time frame, it was where every music genre was popping,
Was just
was-
booming at the time.
was booming,
Yeah, that's true.
and it was harder. You had to really go out and make something really good to make it popular. It's
To
not like
stand out.
now where you can just throw anything out and it's everywhere because of YouTube or wherever. You really had to be out there and putting in the work so to be popular, for it to be mainstream.
And no lie, you're right, Danny. And you also had to be talented because I feel like back then
Yep.
to
Yes.
be seen and discovered, you legit had to be talented. Like you said, well,
It was
now,
harder to get discovered back then.
yeah.
was harder.
Now you really could just, like you said, you could just drop a song and just like put it on any platform and just hope it blows up. Back then, like you had to be discovered. So
You had to work hard, talk to
Yeah.
people, get connections. Now it's just
It was a
all over
grind.
the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had to really,
you had
it
to,
had to
make
really
like
be good.
1,000 demos to leave them and hope
Yeah,
that
people
they
won't even
listen
listen
to it.
to.
That's
You
a
got to get the
fact.
tape out.
Most likely they'll just walk by the next garbage bin and throw it in there. I did it. I'm guilty of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yo.
my man, you want to listen to this demo? Yo, this joint's lit. All right, sure.
Yeah.
Right in the garbage and went. Sorry.
All right, Carmelo, who you will say was the best boy band around that time?
For me, I want to say NSYNC because they had Justin, bro.
Wow,
They had the dancing.
Yeah, just
They
because
was
they had,
dancing, the music
they had
videos.
the bye. I said it was over, bro. Not to say that Backstreet and them wasn't good, but yeah, I
So
just
you don't
feel
want it
like
that way.
overall, yeah. So I just feel like overall that time, I think it was like a 5 year, late 90s to early 2000s. It was like because that's when you also got Daddy Yankee, and then reggaeton just blew up.
Who's this?
You had
Yeah.
Tego.
Who's
Like,
this?
You know it was funny when we was playing basketball. They were playing Don Omar. They're like Pobre Diabla. I swear to you, bro. And it's like we listening to it, and then there's some black guys like they singing it, and it's just like, oh shit, like this is like transcending, like, you know what I mean? When you singing shit that you don't even know the lyrics to, that's not even
You
your
don't know what
language.
they saying. Yeah,
Exactly. Yep. So it's just like, well, that's pretty cool. Like I think it's
Aventura
Jamian.
had those hits.
It's Aventura.
Yeah, bachata. Yep. I remember Jamian was singing it, and he was singing it all messed up, but he was like, you know, on
He
melody.
was feeling the music. He was feeling it.
Yeah.
Man.
Yep.
Yeah, because I think at that time it was at a point where it didn't matter what your background was, you was just listening to everything that was popular.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
I
like-
agree.
Because it was good. Yep.
Yeah, like
Yep.
you take Britney Spears and that when she first came out, Baby One More Time, and like how many
Yep.
albums they used to sell compared to now. Like now they sell, they go platinum twice and they go crazy. Back then it was like 16 times.
Yeah.
Or that record goes diamond. Like they used to just sell a lot of records back then. Like, but yeah, Britney Spears is carrying the torch for a while there. And then they brought out Christina, which was like her rival. They used to say the
Yeah.
competition. And then they had like, what was it? Mandy Moore, Jessica Simpson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ashley
Those
Yeah, the
other
early
ones?
years of Christina was fire.
Michelle Branch.
Michelle Branch.
Michelle
Yo, Chad, you
Branch.
surprising me today.
That was my girl.
Michelle Branch, you know
man.
your stuff.
I do, man.
Know
I
your
was
stuff.
the girl. I love Michelle Branch, man.
Yeah. She was good.
Yeah.
And what was it? I don't know if y'all know Sugar Ray.
I remember
They
Sugar
were
Ray.
good.
Yeah, bro.
I know Wilson used to like Sugar Ray too.
Yo, but what about
I did.
you know what album was
Yep.
really good? The No Doubt album. I forgot the name
Oh,
of it. It
yeah.
was
No Doubt.
orange. It was orange.
That was a
Can't-
damn good.
The
Is
one
that the
that,
one with
that
Don't
has that
Speak?
song Don't Speak, yep, and then it has the Sorry I'm Not Home Right Now. You must have. Yeah, there's that album is good. I'm trying to look
Mhm.
it up.
Oh, you know who else was good? Garbage.
Yes, the band.
I first heard
Oh,
him
yeah.
through
That was
Gran
more-
Turismo, the Gran Turismo intro.
Really?
Yep.
Nah, I think you
That's
heard
the
them
first time
before
I-
that though. You had to heard them before.
I think it was the
Nah.
song before that, and then
Yes.
we heard it. I think
Really?
it was.
That's how I found it. Maybe you guys found
Yeah,
out
really?
earlier. Yeah.
that. Oh, okay.
Because I didn't know who they were. You guys mentioned it. He was like, yo, that's garbage. I'm like, where? Who was that? I'm like, oh, John, this is what?
Yeah, because when we heard the song in the game, it was like, yo, we could tell by the voice already that was her.
Another
that
one.
group.
That
Oh,
was
that's
Another
her.
band. Another band was like Blink 182.
Yeah.
They had
Yeah.
it as well. That
What's
was
the one
like
that
pop
does
rock,
the fat lip one?
Sum 41.
There's some 41.
No, that's not 41.
Yes. Yeah, they
I
were
got
good.
some
at that
41.
time.
The
Yo,
Crazy Taxi one? Oh, what's
Avril
that one?
yes,
Lavigne.
that was Crazy Taxi was
You used to
Offspring.
pick Gus.
Offspring.
oh, I know who that is too.
Yo, Gus was the man.
Offspring,
though.
yes, Offspring.
There it is. Yeah, Offspring.
Yeah, that
Gus
was-
looked like he got a couple of restraining orders on him.
another band was Good Charlotte
Good Charlotte.
They were
Yeah.
good
Yeah,
too.
good Charlotte.
at the time.
Yo, what about 112, bro? The
112.
Peaches and Cream.
Peaches and cream. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Know what
Peaches
I
and
mean?
Cream.
One
Peaches and
sometimes it's
cream.
one hit wonders. That's all it takes, man.
Yeah,
No, they had
They
a
had a
few
lot
good
of
hits.
Great.
Yeah,
They had
they
a
had
lot
a
of
few.
I wouldn't
The
say-
Yeah.
Dead? Oh, I only know them
mean-
for that song.
no, I think you know them
They
for
had that
a
song
few
with
other
Biggie,
songs.
Yeah,
too.
and then the one with Biggie
With
too.
Biggie and
Yeah.
Mace.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that was yeah.
But
And
that
they
was
had the
before.
letter.
That was before the late '90s and stuff.
Yeah, that was.
That was way before. That's like
Let
when
me
rap
tell you
was on
what I
top.
want to do.
That was like the mid 90s.
Because in the early '90s it was rap I was listening to, and then rap started dying a little bit. Then MTV picked it up with the pop music,
Yeah.
and then there wasn't that much rap around.
Yeah.
If y'all noticed, you know, they weren't that big at the time.
Like Carmelo
Usher.
said,
After the yes,
Once Kurt
Eminem
Hennig came out with that song, it started dying.
and DMX, I think that's when rap started really coming back. When DMX and Eminem
pick it
came
back
out.
up.
Yeah, but you're right. Like there was like that pop boom where like they
Yeah,
like took
was just
over
that.
for a while. It was just
It was
straight
that.
pop music. And every week it was like a new band that had like a hit. Like you'd be like, oh, who are these guys? Like they got it. Like it was
Yes.
crazy.
It was
then
like, it
50
was just
came. When 50
kinda-
came, that's when everything changed.
That's it.
50 Cent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when pop was dying a little bit. When it started dying, when 50 Cent came out, and then rap just came back in hip hop again.
Yeah.
Pop died again
50 took over.
Yeah.
around the mid 2000s.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you're right. Because Pop did die at that point, and it was like over. Because all of the really good people they left, and they were going into like R&B. Like Justin left.
Yeah.
He legit went straight R&B. I think like Britney stopped making music, or like it wasn't. It just didn't hit the same anymore.
It wasn't the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it didn't hit the same.
One that was kind of consistent was Avril Lavigne. I don't know if
Yeah.
everybody here knows her.
Yeah,
She was good. There's the Skater Boy, Complicated.
yeah,
What was it? Girlfriend or something? She had a bunch of
Yeah.
stuff.
yeah. Avril Lavigne had some hits too. I remember that.
Yeah. Even Janet Jackson had hits around that time.
Oh yeah, she did. You're right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Michael Jackson has still had his coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
that
time,
song.
too.
Yes. Yeah, that song with the video with Chris Tucker in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had the video with Magic Johnson, Eddie Murphy.
Remember the time.
Remember the
Yeah,
time. Yeah,
yeah.
that video's like
I
one of
love
the
that
best.
joint. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the one with his sister that he did, the song
Scream.
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 Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yo,
so,
he
so
was
we
just
weren't
like
even older then?
like a real entertainer. No, but this was us growing up. That was pop
Everything?
still. He was still releasing
Yeah.
music.
Yeah, like Michael Jackson was like on his own level. I would say back then was Michael Jackson and Madonna had the most stuff.
And Madonna was good too.
My man
Wilson
Prince.
had that. Wilson bought that CD with the
Ray of
blue
Light?
back and Harry.
Yeah, Ray of Light,
Ray of
yeah.
Light.
I
Yes,
burned
it
the
was
hell
good.
out of that damn thing. Thing's good.
Yeah. Oh god. Yes. But I know these times are different, but Bad Boy in the early 90s, they had a bunch of stuff
Yes, they had
with
everything.
the IG.
They had Craig Mack.
They were 107 all the time. Craig
Yeah.
They
Mack.
had Bone
Yep.
Thugs.
Yeah.
I remember on MTV when they had the competition and they were like, oh, when there was like Def Jam, Bad Boys, and all the other ones, and then it was like their turn. It was like, yo, we want to see what Bad Boy comes up with and stuff like that. When they were at the peak of them,
Oh, like of the music, right? Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Because
A
Bad
little
Boy
bit
had
before
all. They had Mace. They
Biggie.
had all the stars
Yep.
at that time.
They had, I think they had Little Kim, I think.
Yeah, they did. They had Little Kim. They had like Mace. Mello said they had. Yeah, they Bad Boy had like a nice little lineup. They really did though. They held it
Around
down for a
that
while.
mid 90s, they had it on lock. That was
Mhm.
before the pops as well. Before
Yeah.
the pop boom.
oh,
'Cause we were
Chad,
listening to that.
also Timberland and Magoo.
Oh, damn,
Oh,
you know
yeah.
that. Up
Yeah, Missy
Jump Still
Elliott,
Boogie. Yeah,
Is that
man.
Missy Elliott?
Early Missy for
Yes.
Wilson.
And
Early Missy.
Genuine, we seen you in
Yeah.
that video,
I like
Genuine.
the thick.
Oh,
Yeah,
Genuine,
Missy
the
Elliott.
pony song.
We seen you in
Oh,
that video.
Genuine.
I never
Wait,
forgot
there was a
that.
song that Carmelo liked though.
In
Yeah,
those
rap
jeans.
one.
Nah.
Yeah, he mumbled a lot.
Oh,
Oh,
Juvenile.
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 I said
Yeah,
John.
yeah.
What, back that
Go
thing
ahead.
up?
Back that thing.
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah. Yo,
Black
bro,
boy, you look good.
that album 400
Not girl
Degrees.
work, just that
Yeah,
boy.
that's
That's
what
what you
Degrees.
back
That's a
that
really
ass.
good album.
Yeah, what was in what was it Carmelo? You hurry, yeah, like a big yeah.
I wasn't gonna bring it up, but it's already out there. I wasn't gonna say it.
Everything
It was
goes
like,
out there.
yeah.
My man always going
It was
after
like,
Harry
got
with the
hair,
hair.
yeah, like a bear, yeah.
But yeah, like you could say like Mariah Carey was very good back then. She had hits
Oh, she
on
did.
hits back then.
She did.
Yeah, even with Old Dirty Bastard, she had that one.
Yeah,
That's
she
the
did.
fantasy song, the remix.
You know,
Yeah.
he used to get food stamps. He said, "Who doesn't want free money?"
Yeah, why not?
That was crazy on MTV. I remember that. That was wild. He pulled up to that joint with a limo, didn't he?
Yo,
Yeah,
I don't know if y'all know this, but ODB was on TRL and Carson asked him what
Oh,
he's gonna do for the community,
Oh yeah.
and they was asking different people, and they asked ODB what he's gonna do for the community. He said nothing.
He kept it real.
He just said nothing. That's it. That was a little too real.
And then I remember when he was at some award show and they said, and then he just randomly yelled, he said, Wu-Tang for the children. He just randomly screamed.
Oh yeah,
that.
Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah,
Wu-Tang
Wu-Tang.
Clan?
Yeah,
Yes.
Wu-Tang was it too. Yeah, man. That joke was Wu-Tang was good. But you did
You
mention
wanna
Ja
go there?
Rule and them, Harry. They
Yes.
they had hits that time.
Murder
too.
Inc.
Murder Inc. had hits at that time too.
And the Ashanti,
With
bro.
Ashanti?
Yeah, and
Yes.
Ashanti, Ja Rule, yeah. J-Lo was in there
Ja
too.
Rule with J-Lo, yeah. Ja Rule
Yeah.
and J-Lo. Yeah.
I mean, it's a known fact. She didn't sing that song, but she was just in the video. I'm sorry, J-Lo. I'm sorry, J-Lo. That was Ashanti's vocals. I'm sorry.
Nah, I don't know.
No, it's a fact. It's a legit fact that wasn't her vocals.
Nah. If you want to go older than that, you could say Whitney Houston.
Oh, I love
Back
Whitney
then
Houston.
was great as that. Well, all the 80s, most of the 80s stuff was great at the time. But that could be for another time. Since we mentioned Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Nah, but Michael Jackson
Well, I
is
mentioned
kind
him
of
because he had music coming out at that time.
yeah, and he's one of those bigger than life. There's not a lot of people like that, that are like bigger than life,
Mhm.
Yeah.
type of character. So you got like a guy like Michael Jackson, the Beatles, sports. You got Tyson, Muhammad Ali. You got wrestling, Hogan. You got basketball. You got I don't think I said Jordan. But he's like one of those type of dudes.
Yeah, like the icons.
And it's crazy
Yeah.
too when you think about how long he's been relevant because he legit was making hits in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s when you really think about it. Like he legit
Yeah.
had hits
Since
in
he was a
all-
kid.
Exactly. All
Yeah,
since
since
he
he
was
was a
like
kid,
yeah,
Jack
since he was
5.
like 5 years old, he had hits. So
Mhm.
yeah, he was different. Like he definitely was.
There was even Will Smith back then
yeah,
getting jiggy with it.
yeah.
You had to really be talented back then. Like, you know what I'm saying?
What was it? Will Smith used to like Mambo number 5.
That was a good song.
Yeah, it was.
Mambo number 5.
Yo, what about Cisco, the thong song?
That was another good song
Wow,
too.
that's a
Yo, Will
thong
Smith used to
song.
burn that song.
Yo,
I
but
did.
the album was good too, though. What was it? Enter the Dragon, right? That was the name of the
Yes.
album.
Yeah.
It
I think
was.
so.
Up to
Yeah,
the
it was a
dragon.
good album. We
And
all
you know what's
people that
crazy?
used to
Was
burn the
it-
song.
Who was it? Was it Danny that was like buying all his albums? I feel like it was Danny that
It was
like,
Danny.
I
that
remember
I
who
remember
it
too.
was.
I remember
had
2
all
albums.
his albums. Danny was a
There's only
big-
2 albums I bought. What do you
And
mean?
he had
all?
the
I think that's all he
That's
had.
all he had.
I think that's all he had.
Yeah, that's when Lita used to come out with the thong. That was the it's popular back then.
Yeah, you're right.
Also, we forgot to mention the Spice Girls were big as well.
Oh,
Yes.
Yo, they had the movie, The Spice World. Bro, my sister used to play
I-
that movie all day. I must have watched that movie like 100 times, bro.
Yo, you know what's crazy too when you think about it? Like the effort they put into those videos. Cause I remember Harry had that DVD of like all Britney Spears like old videos, and we used to watch that. Hey, yo, man, listen,
They used to be interactive.
yeah, man, she had that song with Snoop Dogg too. I remember that, Joe. I remember that. I definitely remember that.
I remember that.
Yeah, I do.
What was it? Destiny's Child before she dumped her to Barners.
Damn. Damn. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Mark Anthony
I guess
had
she
hits
was,
back
I guess
then
she was
too.
surviving by herself.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I'm a survivor.
Yeah, she did. You're right. Mark Anthony had hits back then too. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
It was,
Mark,
it was good.
yeah, see,
It was good music back then.
I only know mostly his English stuff. Well, he had like one song that I know too. But yeah, the Spanish stuff. That was
Yeah.
mostly Danny stuff that knew that.
Yeah. That was Danny
Oh,
Duck.
TLC.
TLC.
Nobody mentioned.
Yeah, that was the time because they have iconic songs like that. Suavemente. That was around that.
Yeah.
Elvis
Elvis
Crespo.
Crespo.
Yeah.
I know who else we haven't mentioned. Aaliyah.
Aaliyah, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, and we were. She was amazing too.
Yeah, she was
Mhm.
really, really good.
And nobody likes Coolio.
Yeah.
Oh, Dancing
He had that
Paradise,
one
right?
good song.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gangsta's
he had
Paradise.
that one
Yeah.
good song.
Not it.
That's from that movie,
That's what that matters.
Dangerous
That's what he
Minds. Yeah,
Dangerous
that's what he
Minds,
needs.
yeah.
I love that movie. That movie was
So
really
the
good.
song is more famous than the movie, like Wild Wild
It
West.
is. Yeah. Well, Will Smith. Well,
Which
remember Men
Cisco
in
was
Black
also in
too. Yeah, was
Men in Black.
Cisco
Nah,
was
Men in
in
Black
that.
was high.
Yeah, the movie and the song was fire too. Will Smith did
It
his
matched,
thing. Yeah.
but the other ones don't really match.
Nah, he messed up with Wild Wild West.
By the way, if you enjoying this episode so far, please hit the sub, follow, and like.
Smash that like button.
So we could, so we could bring you more content, just like these moments. Yeah. So, what are other side music that y'all listened to around that time that wasn't too popular but still caught our attention? I'll go with you, Will.
So, I mean, outside of the comfort zone of what people probably think that I wouldn't listen to, but I do listen to.
That was like that. It wasn't popular, but you knew that it was good and you listened to it on it.
So basically, that I liked it. Didn't matter who else liked it.
Yeah.
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 Well, there's a lot there, but I'll try to keep it small. Classical music.
Yeah,
I
Evil
love
Geniuses
listening
listen
to
to classical music, bro.
Like what, like Beethoven?
Yeah.
Beethoven.
Like,
I mean,
fucking chopping up people's arms listening to classical music. Oh, his
who knows,
Dexter.
man? Who knows?
Leatherface.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not that. I'm just like, I think music is a universal language, and
Oh, for
you
sure.
listen to everything. You know, there's even music that I don't understand, but I like it. It just makes no sense sometimes. But classical music for sure. Some opera. Foreign music. Not all of them. Instrumental jazz only, or like the smooth type. And then there's like the dark heavy metal that people just really won't like and they'll think it's just noise. So like one of the best, like Dimmu Borgir and, you know, things like that in that category of their section. But mainly heavy metal, and just overall in this entire time, I even listen to country music, but not the horrible one, and not that Beyonce, because she doesn't deserve that award for best country album. She could go eat a dick.
Alright.
But yeah,
agree.
that's about it, man.
It's your
About it.
opinion.
Yeah, it's my opinion. Yeah, exactly. So
Take it easy.
Take
And
it
I
however you
love
want.
that one, though. I love that one.
See?
Thank you.
See?
Well, yeah, that's about it for now. Who's next?
Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying because I found like when you watch like Lord of the Rings and it's like the elves music, it gives you like that calm thing, and then you don't know what the hell they saying, but
Yeah,
it sounds good with the beat.
it's like the Misty over the Misty Mountains.
The flute.
thing that they did in The Hobbit.
Yeah.
That thing was real good. So,
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
Carmelo, you have any?
For me, so there's music that, you know, when you're little, you're forced to listen to because you don't have a choice. But then when you get older, you learn to appreciate it. So, my parents, like, you know, well, they came from Honduras, so a lot of Spanish music, and predominantly, because you know, you watch Channel 41 and Channel 47 growing up, so it's like Mexican music. You know, like they would play movies at night. So like like there would be a famous singer like Vicente Fernandez, and they would make movies like based on one of his songs. So he pretty much play himself in the movie and just sing some of his songs. So maybe not for the masses, but for me, like a lot of the music that I listen to now is like old school, like Mexican music, like with the accordions and stuff, which is crazy because I'm starting to learn how to play the accordion to like play music for like my family. Cause you know, like they think that is pretty cool to me. Like I like the melodies and the lyrics. That's another thing too. If the lyrics are good, I don't care what it is. If they got good lyrics, I'm listening to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know, Steve Urkel had an accordion, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there is different melodies. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My
Do you
wife
really,
be telling
you really
me.
play though, like the accordion for real?
Yeah, I
That's
just
what's
started
up.
playing it a few months ago.
Oh, no. Are you
know,
good?
just because I just started playing a few months ago. I know a few songs.
We could drop you on 42nd Street, man. We could get some real
I'll be
money.
all right.
that
I'll
on
be
the
all right.
song,
You gonna be
plays,
singing,
man.
bro?
That's how
You
people
gonna be
get
singing?
known.
I will. Yeah,
subway.
we could get you some. We could get some money, man. What you
I'll
doing?
be alright, bro. I'll be alright. But yeah, it's just like that's like the old school music. Like I listen to it all the time, like when I'm working and stuff like that. So that's for me, because again, it's kind of like old school music that you might not like it when you're younger, but then you kind of grow into it and appreciate it. So what about you, Chad?
Similar to what you said, I would say like a lot of stuff my mom listened to definitely influenced me, and I can like hear it now, and like you said, I really appreciate it. So like a lot of like old like Motown stuff, things like that. But it's funny because you did say something earlier about because like if people don't know, I'm black, so I'm the only one on this podcast that does
No,
not
he's
speak
not. No,
Spanish.
he's not.
So
Yeah.
so Carmelo was talking earlier about this kid Jamie and that we know, and he would be reciting like Spanish songs. So I'm similar, where like if you play like at that time like a Daddy Yankee song or like an Aventura song, like I don't know what they're saying, but it sounded fire. So when Daddy Yankee, even till this day, they throw some that gasoline. Listen, it's a hit for me, and I don't know what he's saying. It sounds fire though. So similar to you, Mello, that's kind of like my thing now, where like I can still like love and appreciate that music, and I don't know what he's talking about, but you know, like I grew up around it. It's what my friends heard, so you know, like I love it. So I would probably say those are like the types of things that like you would be surprised that I listen to, and I could still go to like now and listen to. So, what about you, Harry? What would you say?
Well, for me, like I listen to stuff like in the late 90s. Well, I always listen to like house music, trance, which is not as big as it used. Well, I don't even think they make trance music anymore.
I thought he said trance.
No, trance music. It's like, you know,
So you hold on,
what kind of music?
we gotta explain. I don't know what that is, bro.
it's like beats.
Okay,
It's
okay.
like,
All right, because
It's not
when you
Europop.
said, as soon as you said trans, my mind went somewhere else.
Me too.
That's because that's the world we live in now.
No, I get it. I get it, bro. I get it.
I was like, yo, what genre is that?
Yeah, so it's like I was listening to like Aqua. They're the ones that sang Barbie Girl,
Oh, I love
Yeah.
Aqua. Yeah, I remember that.
stuff like that, and like, you know, the Europop, like What Is Love, Baby Don't Hurt Me,
Oh,
something
okay.
stuff like that. That type of
Yeah.
music, I listen to that a lot.
Yo, but you used to go to
stuff
raves and
like-
stuff.
Is a raise.
You used to,
that type
yeah,
of music.
raves.
Yeah, nah. But that radio felt like a rave.
Yeah.
That KTU
Yeah.
back then,
Yeah. There
which
you
is
ain't
where I
lying.
listened to that stuff, and Z100 back then.
Z100, yeah.
Used to play that.
Yo, you ain't
when they were
mentioned, you
actually
know,
good.
now that we think about it, you ain't even mentioned your boy Snow, like that song Informer.
So for me,
Make it boom boom, yeah.
Or,
There was another one. There was a few of them.
Evanescence.
Evanescence,
Yeah.
There
yeah,
was a
but
few
like
songs.
in Spanish music, it was just a reggaeton, but that's not something that is like, oh, Harry listens to that. No, I actually did at one point a lot when it was catching on and when it first started in the early 90s, somewhere around that in Puerto Rico when I first heard it. And
Yeah, the Playero days.
Playero, The Noise, and stuff like
Yeah.
that. That's like the origins of that stuff. And I would say Spanish music. I'm more open to it now than I was back then. Like what my mother listened to, she listened like Carmelo previously said, like Mexican music, Spanish bands. Like I didn't know who they were, but I know them because of her. She plays music like that all the time. But like
And you
I'm more
appreciate
open
it.
to listen to that. Yeah, I appreciate it now
Yeah.
than I did back then. Back then I was like, oh, when is this gonna be over? Or whatever.
Same. I know what you mean.
Yo, who
Yeah.
was that that artist that you liked? It was it Faye? That
The Spanish one,
probably?
yeah.
yeah, in Spanish. Yeah,
Yeah.
Harry.
That was like
that,
pop.
that azúcar amargo. Un grato
Yeah.
en un diablo. It was Faye, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like pop Spanish, right?
Yep.
I would say it's pop. Hmm.
It'd be like Shakira, kind of.
Yeah, but her old Spanish stuff, yeah, like I like her old Spanish
Yo, I
stuff.
remember you used to like
Back in the day.
Thalia. You still like Thalia?
I don't know about Talia.
Yeah. Nah.
Nah. Nah.
The novelas.
I know who she is from the soap operas and some music, but nah, I was never like that into her.
Nah.
And you, Danny?
I'm every genre really. If it catches my ear, I listen to it. Well, back then, it was mostly Spanish, like Mark Anthony, Alejandro Fernandez, and then with the English ones, I was 2-in-1 or reggaeton. I didn't like go choose one over the other. Is whatever I made a playlist and just shuffled it. You was gonna say something, Carmelo?
But what would be something that you listen to that, like, if we look at you, we'd be like, oh, we didn't know that, that he liked
Yeah,
that
you
type of
listen to it.
music, or that, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
the
popular is
Japanese
popular, right?
music, the Japanese music,
like-
especially from Dragon Ball back then,
Oh,
the
okay.
Dragon Ball songs.
Oh, I remember you guys we used to just listen to the wrestling themes, and like it's a song.
And the wrestling themes,
yeah,
yeah.
wrestling themes. Like nobody really listens to that like it's real music, but we used to listen to that stuff.
And then they did. Didn't they really have artists doing it? Like they had like Method
Yeah.
Man
Yeah.
and all these people.
Was it what party was
Yep.
it that Harry
Oh,
put his
it was my
It was Danny's
daughter's
baby shower.
birthday shower.
Yes.
I put a CD in with the music.
I never
and
forgot
I was
that.
I was supposed to be there to stop it, to put the next song in, but I had to go get soda. So when I left, I forgot that what was coming up next was Triple H's theme song.
play the game.
That by the time I came back,
It was
they were just listening
blasting.
to wrestling music.
It was
Yo.
blasting too.
Everybody's looking at each other like, what the hell?
Nah,
what the fuck is going on?
Harry got like tomato red because it's like, yo, it's Harry's DVD, CD for sure. But there were some little kids like, yo, Triple H. They were like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was that one where that guy was screaming like, "It's time to play the game."
Yeah, the game,
it was
yo.
that one.
Yeah.
And I don't play it. All about
Yeah.
control. That joke was crazy.
Yeah. Is what was the band Metalhead? Motorhead.
Motorhead.
Yeah. Rest in peace. But yeah. Music like that. What else I listen to? We also listen to instrumental music, which is like the themes for movies, like Indiana Jones theme, the Back to the
Yes.
Future themes,
The soundtracks,
even, the
movie
soundtracks,
soundtracks.
the movie
the score,
songs.
the score.
Yeah, like
music.
what's these guys' name that sang the Back to the Future song?
Damn it, I forgot.
I forget,
Huey
but
Lewis. Huey Lewis.
yes, Huey Lewis, and even stuff like that we listen
Ray
to.
Parker Jr. with the Ghostbusters theme.
Yeah, you're right.
Where soundtracks were good for movies, they made the songs for the movies. Now they just take something on the radio and put it in the movie,
They made it specifically for
just for the movie,
For the
and they
movie,
say
yeah.
stuff from the movie in there, and they mention the name sometimes on
Yep.
these songs. Yeah, like the Terminator theme, but we'll say that also for like movies or whatever.
Yeah, so it was mostly those stuff that I would listen to. So all over the place. I know when I worked at TD Bank, and I would have it in the back, in my office in the back, just playing all kinds of music on shuffle. They walk in like, the hell?
Like Kevin Little.
He's a Kevin Leonard.
Kevin
Kevin
Leonard.
Leonard song.
Yeah, turn me on. Danny, I remember I called you one day and that's what was blasted in the background. I said, "Man, you in a party?"
Hey, I put it on shuffle and whatever plays.
Like, yeah, Danny was getting the dub.
I don't care who walks in there, it's playing. Don't like it, mute it, or walk out of my office.
No, I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on closing segments of this episode, what do you want to talk about? Well, not talk about, mention your last mention about the music in general around that time. Harry?
Well, me and Danny used to be into New Kids on the Block a lot growing up when we was little. There was a period of time we used to always listen to them, record the music off the radio and stuff like that. I think that's the first boy band we ever heard.
Oh, you remember you
Yeah.
had to be there like on time to press record
Yeah,
off
facts.
the radio.
So you don't hear the DJ talking,
Yep.
and then if he talks over you, so like, God damn it, I gotta rewind or delete it or record it
Exactly.
again
Or
and
you gotta wait to listen to it again.
wait.
Yeah.
Sometimes the
Yeah.
song never comes back on. Then we turn the radio back on, the song's about to finish.
Or it's in the
damn,
middle of
I'll
playing.
listen to it, or
Yeah.
it's in the middle. Should I record the middle? I at least want to hear a little bit of it.
Yeah. I definitely
Yeah,
remember
so-
those days.
Yeah, me and Danny was aligned to that type of music, like to that pop in the 80s and stuff like that. But yeah, anybody else want to add something?
I'll say that it just feels like back then you had a lot more talent. Maybe talent is not the right word. I want to say like people their craft was better. They dedicated more time to it. It just seems like now it's just kind of like they just bombard you from everywhere, and then it becomes popular because you're listening to it everywhere.
Mhm.
And everything mostly sounds similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know
Also-
what song that came out like the perfect example in my mind, because I remember it playing all the time, was that Soulja Boy song, like that Superman. That I remember when that song came out, I was like, yo, this
Oh.
song is trash. But then I started liking it because it's like it had a dance to it, but it was just like, yo, why they playing this song so much? But so I just feel like nowadays, if you have a catchy beat and the right marketing, it'll you'll capture the masses. When back then it was kind of like off pure talent. Your song, you had to have a good beat, you had to have good lyrics, you
Yes.
had to have everything had to
Sometimes
be
you
on
had
point.
to have the look and everything,
Yeah,
like that matched.
Yeah, the other thing that helps them is if they put it on a famous TikTok video and they like, yo, that song is from that TikTok, and then you just go listen to the song, no
Yeah.
matter if it's good or bad.
How they
They're like,
get
that was the
streamed.
TikTok video song.
Exactly.
So they
Yeah,
go
it
listen
gets
to
famous even though it's a bad song.
Exactly. Exactly.
so it just feels like artists back then, they just kind of like, they were real artists. They pretty much honed their craft and
Yes.
you know
I feel like they don't put enough effort into it because they know they're not going to sell that many records, probably. It's just watered down now music. Like, they could say, oh, you only like your generation. Every generation says that. The 50s, your grandfather will say, this is the best music decade. It always says, but I feel like it is true to an extent that music is watered down and is nowhere near as good or great as it used to be. And I think we can all agree on that. Even younger kids will say that sometimes. When you always go back to a movie now, they play an old song on the soundtrack. There's always an old song, a retro song, if you know what I mean. So, yeah. I just say that music back then was way better than it is now.
Yeah, it was timeless back then, man. Music, like you said, was just like, I feel like it's like you guys said, I feel like it was so much effort back then, and now everything is just like fast, microwavable. Yeah, back then it was just timeless, man. So I'm gonna agree with you guys on that.
Yeah, timeless in the sense of like you saw the last Deadpool's movie that came out, that they opened the segment with the NSYNC. That shit was so
Exactly.
so hot. Yeah, with the bye
Exactly.
bye choreographed.
Yeah,
That shit was hot.
See?
Yep. And how many years
Yeah,
ago
they-
was that? Like more like 25 or so.
It had to have
That
been.
song came out?
Yeah, like 25 years
Yeah.
ago. And look
Yep.
at that. It's a retro song. Nothing new.
Yep.
See?
Yeah, that's a fact.
That's why it's timeless.
Yeah.
And you, Wilson, any final thoughts on the music genre?
No, not really. Guys kind of covered everything. I'm serious. There's nothing to really just talk about it. I don't think there's anything really left but to say music is just great, and it has its own personal uplifting in certain situations, and it could be some sort of a therapy to something, and that's about it. Like, music really is great. It really is universal, and that's at least something I can always look forward to, that it'll always be out there, music. So,
You always remember when you heard it, the first time you heard that song.
that's true. Something will ring a tone, and
It takes you back in time. It's like a time
exactly,
machine when you hear a
it's just
song.
with that
Yeah.
nostalgia feeling. You know what I mean? So, yeah. It's really a good thing, man. And I love music for it. They're literally everywhere in our games, movies, in our own lifestyles. It's just everywhere. Just as long as you like it and it's good, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that concludes our episode for today. I would like to say thanks for listening. Like and subscribe to our podcast. And till the next episode, see you then.
For the next episode, we're going to talk about DC and Marvel universes, and you won't want to miss what Wilson gets into.